presentation.
Okay, good morning. It is October 12th here in Korea. Welcome back to East Asian Management. This is the 7th week of class. It's the last week before the midterm break period. We do not have a midterm exam. You are supposed to follow the class outline, which I hope is very clear to everyone, talking about how you get 15 points for writing a research paper with 15 articles referenced properly and a grant, and by sharing the information, talking in class about your grant, about your research project, and a video of that, you can get an extra 15 points for that. And at the beginning of class, you get 5 points for proposing what you're going to research, maybe finding group partners. And today is one of the last days. You can get 5 points for sharing the updated information. So with that in mind, I would like to respond to Hye-Bin So. You have said that you want to share some details, but before you start talking, Hye-Bin So, I understand that Ali, our other TA, are you ready to share with the class the marks and the details?
Okay.
Okay.
So this is the file of the students' contributions. I hope that everyone now understand that and see your point in here. So all of your contributions will be appear in this file, and sometimes I help you to aid your contributions, but most of the time you should also try and be too proactive to aid the comments of what you already contribute on the class. So to make sure that I can record it. And
Yes.
yeah.
Can we go to Miss So? Do you mind if the class goes and looks at the bottom of this file where we have your name?
It's okay for me.
Okay. Ali, can you show?
Okay. Everybody can see that?
Yes. So because Miss So has actually shared research articles almost every class, and she has already shared her proposal at the beginning, and she shared her weekly topic and her research project updates. She already has, I believe, 25 points in class out of 100. And again, 50 more points will be coming in the last week of class or whenever you want to present your final research. And every week you can get another point for sharing articles. So with that in mind, Miss So, please go ahead and update everybody on what you're about to talk about.
Professor, can I share my presentation?
Sure.
Because it doesn't work right now.
I will. You are now a co-host. You should be able to share now.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, I see your objective.
Okay, so in the previous class, we were talking about a little bit specific title with our paper, but however, that makes a little bit narrow. It is a little bit narrow for us. So we've changed it into analysis and strategies for Google to enter agricultural market in South Korea. and we researched more about the Google's business itself. And there was two different ways. First one, in Department of Google Ventures, they were investing fundings for the agricultural technological companies. And secondly, especially in the Department of Google Cloud, they were trying to develop their business for the Google agricultural technologies. And we're going to talk about this in term paper, like a definition and like a status quo of the Google itself. So for instance, in Google Cloud, they have technology for cloud computing, of course, and also machine learning, big data, and artificial intelligence, which is the most important key for the agriculture technologies recently. And just like was mentioned before, we've shown the video about how Google Cloud is combining their technology with other startups, like for example, the Teranis. So we'll talk about that a little bit more detailed, like with the results from the technological combination with Google Cloud and Teranis. They reduced the crop waste overall for 30%. And also from the last class, we've learned that from the feedback of the other colleagues, we've found out that we have to be more clarified on our objective. And we found out this article from Joanna Boestel, Penelope Franks, and Chuyop Kim, which is written in 2002, but it is showing us why we have to develop the technological aspects in agricultural markets. And as you can see in the PPT, meanwhile, as industrial wages rise and labor moves away from the agriculture sector, labor productivity on farms must be raised through, for example, machinization and increased scale of the cultivation if agriculture is to remain a viable occupation. So instead of increasing the number of the people who are participating in the agricultural field, we need to develop the agricultural technology itself, and that will be arise the number of the people who try to engage in the agricultural market. So, and from the feedback of professor, we've tried to add our references in the formal format, but we still have lots of more articles and journals, so we're gonna put it all later and then show you on a Facebook and in the class. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, can you hold on to one of your reference pages so I and the class can scan that and just check if everything's okay? So the first one I see there is from an agency press. Okay, that means it's not written by one specific person. I don't think there's a John Smith called Agent Friends. So a proper referencing format, usually you can write NA for no author. You can leave it for Agents Friends. That's okay in my class papers. But if you add NA for no author, that might be good. It's not a, can you now, Miss So, can you identify where is your first really reliable article that you're referencing in the list?
Sorry, it's a PDF file, and sorry. I cannot remember the exact name, but this one is one of the most important reference, and this one is one of the most important reference because it has been written in 2000 19, and also the organization which has published this journal is where is a Korean company where it is specified and specialized in the agriculture technology. And also there is one more.
Okay,
from
just
the
wait.
Korean-
So
yeah.
that article, you're correct. It's valuable because it's very new. It was just made December 2019, so that's good. And it is from a famous company. KPMG is a good accounting and research company. It's a reliable company. So it is trusted because it's a famous company, but usually companies only say good things about what they want. And so some Scopus journal articles would be even more reliable than that. So you get good points for the KPMG reference. Do you have any Scopus articles here?
We have a lot of Scopus references, but we did not add it yet. We're going to present it in a later class, like on Thursday class. Is that okay?
Yep, sure, of course. And I see that you have YouTube references, you have Google references, looks like you have blog references, Facebook references. It's great that you have many different types of references in addition to their Scopus references. So that's beautiful. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
And yes, Korean statistics should be trusted. Great, thank you. Any other comments? If you see my screen, I have just finished writing down almost everything that Miss So just said. I'm a pretty good, beautiful secretary writing down these, but it's best if you guys put a link to this, or so Miss So, if you actually have a link to that PPT, if it's in Google Drive, if you can share that AgriTech link, then it would be even better. How many points do you think this is worth? Anybody in class?
Professor, I have a question because I've uploaded the revised one on a Facebook group. Is that all right, or do we have to upload the link?
You don't have to, but the more you do that, the easier it is for other people to understand, and the easier they can check the details. Be careful if it's your final research paper. Make sure you only share the link to something that is viewable or they can add comments, but don't share the link that allows your classmates and strangers to edit or make a mistake and delete the file. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so we're just gonna keep on uploading the PDF file.
You can, or you can just have one file and share the link so other people can see. Anytime you make a change, they'll see that. You don't need to upload the same file every week. Just one link will automatically show updates. But my question is different. My question is, how valuable is it what you just said today? In Korea, nobody asks for money. Nobody asks for points from your boss or your teacher. Not until usually after the final exam. Then you go to the teacher and say, please, Kyosunim, can I have a few points? I need a scholarship or something crazy like that. That's Korean style. But in Western style, you need to ask for the points. Show you add to the organization every time you do it. So, Miss So, how much is that worth? Can you see what I'm saying here?
Yep.
Do you agree it's worth only 0.000000001
No.
point? Then speak up. Is your teammate here? Your teammate so far has no points today because I didn't hear anything from the teammate. But
I think he is not here yet.
Okay. What would you like to say, Ms. So?
What is the maximum grade that I can get from this presentation?
The maximum is whatever you can negotiate out of me. If you're good at
Oh.
negotiation, which is what we studied in the last week, you can get many points. Usually, Esther, how many is normal? What is the usual points you can get each week?
Uh, 1 point.
Normally, I give 1 point if it's good, half a point if it's so-so, right. But at the beginning of the semester, I know that Koreans have a different style. Vietnamese, Chinese, Thai, many Asian students, people, are not used to asking for points. So I'm very generous at the beginning of the semester. By week 12, week 13, week 14, week 15, I'm going to be very strict. At the beginning, I gave away lots of points. It's up to you. Miss So, how many do you want to ask for?
Maybe 3 or 5.
What? Are you crazy? You think you're worth 3 times more than any other student?
Sorry, I didn't understand what you're talking. I was
No, come
thinking of the
on.
term paper.
No,
Okay.
my job is to train you to negotiate. My job is to train you to be a good manager. I am just arguing with you on purpose to play with you to help grow your ability to ask for lots of money, ask for lots of points. Don't let
Okay.
me scare you away.
Okay. So I think I need to get 5 points because we try to reflect all the feedbacks from the class, the previous class, and also we try to objectify and be more specific on the business itself. Yeah.
Can you see what I wrote? I'm playing with you. I'm expecting the whole class to talk up. So far, you're doing very well. You have almost the most points in class.
Can I
Every other
reduce
student would be
my
copying you.
call? I'll not be greedy. Just 1 point is gonna be enough.
No! Don't do that.
Alright, this is so difficult. Okay, 5 points.
5. Okay, so Juksong, you're right beside her at my screen, and you're smiling. You're laughing at your classmate. Maybe you're laughing at me. Are you laughing at me? I'm the Kyungsnim. How dare you laugh at me? Explain yourself, student, or get out of my class. That's the Korean style.
Oh, sir, I'm just so interested right now. So interested with the situation. I'm enjoying this class a lot right now.
Don't waste my time. This is a management course. You're supposed to talk about points. How many points do you think she's worth?
Well, considering the quality of that she made so far, I'd like to support her with 5 points.
5? Oh my God, you're greedy too. Get out of my class. If you take all the money from my class, we're not going to be able to grow. What's left for everybody else? Oh my gosh. Mr. Park, Hamin Park, you look like a very traditional, good Korean person. What is your comment about Miss So?
Actually, I
Speak up, boy. Are you deaf? Don't waste my time. Quickly, time is money.
I think she can get 10 points.
10? Oh my
Yeah.
God, you're fired. One last person. Who's the quietest person in class? So far, I don't see anything from Jongwoo So or Shiraz. Shiraz, are you here? Many other times I've seen your name, but I don't see you actually talk in class. Are you here, Shiraz?
Yes, Professor, I'm here.
Do you have any comments?
No, Professor.
So you think Miss So is not even worth comment. I agree, not even worth my time to comment. Shiraz hates Miss So.
No, Professor.
Jungwoo So. We're saving
Yes.
you for last. What? First of all, Jungwoo So, how many points is normal each week?
Maybe 4 or 5.
Juksong was correct. He was showing one finger.
At one point.
Good guess. Yes. Each week, every week, the normal is to get 1 point for sharing details. But, Miss So, is this week a special week? Or is it just a regular week?
Special week, I guess.
You guess, so you don't know? Okay, don't worry about it. We'll leave it at -1.
No, I'm definitely sure that it is special week.
It's a special week. How special?
Because instead of the midterm, we're doing the project, proposing how far we've done. So yes, it is special.
And what did you ask for? That's correct so far. You have some other crazy students next to you or crazy not classmates. You guys are all colleagues, work colleagues. You're working together with international management style. Juksong said how much?
Well, I said 5.
Damn. 5 points nominated by your classmates. Good job. Now enough. Stop wasting my time, class. Let's move on to the next project. Any other comments? If no other students want to participate in management, I'm going to change the topic. No students. Where is it here? What we're looking at is one thing Miss So has forgot, although she thinks she's some goddess or something like that, and Juksong thinks she's amazing. One thing they're all forgetting is what? Easter, what are they forgetting to talk about? What is in this page?
Grant.
Yes, Miss So is terrible. She took so much of my time and she hasn't talked about grants yet. Do you think, Easter, that I should teach your classmates? Should I teach them what is a grant and how to get it? Because they must have forgotten. Do you want
Yes.
to? Okay. I have to repeat myself so much. Man, you bother your company directors. You don't respect the company director's time. Every student in the world knows you're supposed to do some sort of paper, but smart students know that nobody cares what you do in your classroom. The only thing that really matters is if you help the world make a difference. So if you help some local company, give them some paper that gives them ideas or solutions for marketing, finance, management, tourism, whatever, if you write your paper for a local company like an agri-tech company, you will help them. So you're already hopefully doing that. You talked to me today, Miss So, you terrible worker, you. You talked to me about how you were considering interaction with a company called Tyrannus or Tyrannosaurus Rex or something like that. Great. You also said you were interacting with Google. Well, everybody knows that Google is basically a $1 trillion company, having not just a billion, but trillions of dollars. It's crazy. Everybody in the world knows that's kind of psycho. So a lot of people hate Google and Microsoft for having so much money. So those companies work to manage that. They give money back just to look like they're a nice guy. Usually they give it as a grant to students. So if you fill out a grant, you can get money and use that to do your class work, use that to hire a world expert to give you comments, and use all of that in your report to help a local company. And put it all in your journal or your resume. It'll make the world a better place with you in it. So how do you find a grant? So we've gone through and we've talked about you need to research a lot. You must understand that journals are the most reliable, but many times they're old. And anything from a company or a blog or newspaper that's not reliable, but it's new information, so research a lot. Most students in class should No, it's easiest if you find a famous paper, find a Scopus paper and just model that paper or copy that paper, replicate that paper related to what you're interested in. For example, this one's talking about social media in Greece and in Europe, and then the students copied the same paper with social media talking about in Korea related to a company they love. So if you do that, great. The next idea is how you get a grant. In the United States alone, there's more than 88,000 huge multinational companies giving grants away to students and people every year. This link here that you all have access to will show you these files. And every one of these files is showing the examples, like FedEx or Kinko's Foundation Center, First Energy Foundation Center, Ford Motor Company Foundation Center, all of those, like the Chrysler Foundation. So if you go into Google and you search for any famous company you like, comma, foundation, comma, grant, you should be able to see something like this. So I went to Google, you guys can still see this. I typed in Ford, I typed in foundation, I typed in grants, and this is the first thing at the top of the list. It says our grants with the Ford company. You can also identify, it says who grants the foundation, how do I find a grant, how does the Ford Foundation grant fund, all sorts of information about them that helps. When I typed in Ford Foundation, first of all, this was the first thing that Google popped up. This is a different website that shows thousands of companies. For example, there's 86,000 grant companies just in the US, and you can search by each country. And it says in New York specifically, and this one's giving away $10.49 billion. Overall, they have $151 trillion, or no, sorry, my math sucks, $billion that they're trying to give away. So the idea is there are many, many, many grants available, and they're very, very big. If we look more specifically at the Ford Foundation, again, I just went to Google, typed in Ford and Foundation grant, and this pops up. The top of the list, the top link, if I check on this outline, the online form for a grant, this is what pops up. If you have an idea you want to submit for Ford, you go through and you said, how would you describe your idea to somebody, but don't waste my bloody time. Only use 30 seconds. So generally you have to use 400 characters. That's not 400 words, it's just like a character, and a blank space and a period is a character. So it's very, very short. Next, describe your idea. Why should I care? That's 2,000 characters, spaces, points, all of those together. So it's very short. It's actually about 300 words is the modern style. Then you just say, what is your name? What is your email? What is your Kim Young University? That's about it. So this is how you can find a grant and apply for a grant. So I expect you to show me this, maybe copy this website, copy this, fill it out, and in our last weeks of class, or as soon as you're ready, share this with everybody and you get lots of points for that. Maybe you can get extra points. How much money can you ask for, Miss So, since you're such a greedy student? Haha, I'm joking. How much can you ask for? What is normal?
I've never saw any examples.
Don't say that, because I shared this with all students. Every student was supposed to
like, but this is.
Oh my God, my staff are telling me I'm giving them files and they don't even read these class files. Oh my God.
No, we've read it, and actually our group is preparing for the. Our group is preparing for the grant, but we want to make sure that even though we're expecting a big number, is it okay to ask them, because we're just afraid of getting a rejection from the company.
Afraid of rejection? What are you, East Asian? Uncertainty avoidance is strong in your family and culture? I'm a North American. You're supposed to be proud. You're supposed to be confident. You're supposed to not waste my time. If you're not confident, why should I be?
We'll call 5 million won.
5 million won? That wastes my time. No, seriously, everybody in class, listen carefully. Again, one of the things that I have explained before, and obviously Juksong and Habensong don't listen to me, but maybe good students like Easter and Shiraz, maybe they do listen, is that you must research the other person, whoever you're working with. And if we're going to work with international companies, you must research their background and what they're comfortable with. So this was what I showed you. If you research the organization, you can find out they say what their purpose is. They say their program areas. Copy any of these words and put these words into your application. So again, the application would look something like that. Use the words from their background, copy it, and paste it into things like this. Because if you use what they say and their same words, they feel closer to you. Next, find out how much they usually give. And in the website, you can find out this idea. It shows here, for example, the work, all of the areas they give grants to, and the ideas of the regions where they give grants to. And at the bottom, it talks about the past grants. How much did they give away before? You can explore every grant they gave before. And in here, it shows they're giving away tens of millions of dollars every year. So some poor guy has to give away $10 million every year from this company. And Miss So thinks I'm going to waste my time trying to give away only 5 million won? Oh my God, that's might as well ask me to give you 50 cents. And then I only need to find 5 trillion other students to give grants to also. So if we look back at it, that whole idea here is the average grant in Korea is like $1.3 million. The average grant in Vietnam is usually $300,000. So find out what they normally give and ask for about the same amount. If you ask for only 5 million won, which equals $5,000, and you understand that grant manager must give away $10 million, who's very good at math? What is $10 million divided by $5,000? I think the answer is a shitload of grants he has to review. So if you only ask for 5,000, he has to do a lot more work. If you only ask for 100,000 or $300,000, then it's easier for him to give the money away. Everybody the grant manager checks, you all must be respectable. You all must be with a good school. You all must be doing a good project. So what he's going to check is going to be the same. So might as well ask for what he gave away last year or 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And if the average is $300,000, your grant application doesn't matter what you want. It matters what the grant manager values, what is in his culture, right? And his value is about $300,000 is normal. If he has to give away $300,000, he only needs to give away 10 of them for $30 million, something like that, or $3 million. So make sure you understand that connection. Is that clear, Miss So? Do you still want to ask for only $5,000 or 5 million won? You like wasting my time?
No, more than 5 million won.
Good. Hopefully everybody understands that. Thank you very much. Let's go on to the next. Easter, did you have something to share also?
Professor,
Yes?
can we start doing our presentation?
Yes, I'm waiting for you.
Yes.
Time is money. I'm getting old. If I hear any one of you make a comment about my gray hair, you're fired.
Professor, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. Comparison of Japanese and American management style. Great. So I would like to remind everybody in class, again, we are now living in 2020, and with coronavirus, almost everybody and every company needs to be online. So if we're going to see your video and your PPT online, if some company like Tyrannus or Google sees Miss So's presentation, do they know how to contact her and offer her a job? And if somebody is going to see Soji Juan or Easter, do we know how to contact you and tell you, we love you, we want you to work for us? With this slide, no. It's better if you put in your contacts. But because I have some very, very valuable students, and there are some very terrible stalkers and crazy people in the world, I don't want you to put in your body measurements or crazy nude photos or your personal home address. I don't want crazy people to go to your home. Use something that is safe, like your LinkedIn profile. If you share your LinkedIn profile, then other people will know how to contact you professionally, and you're still safe. So either for your final project, you can say your name, but maybe also put a LinkedIn link beside you or an email address beside you, so you can promote yourself to the world. Please continue. And
Yes.
make me be quiet.
Now, So Jihan will be the first presenter.
Hello. So our main topic is comparison of Japanese and American management style. And next slide. So our table of content is introduction, comparative analysis of Japanese and American managerial dimension, conclusion, and then limitation. So our first point is historical background of Japan and United States on management. And one of the main points is that Japanese create a very strong, almost unbreakable bond as they work for a company as an entity, not individually as America is doing. So we're gonna elaborate on this point. And next slide. And then the other one is, another one is leadership and job responsibilities in Japan and America. So we're gonna focus on these 4 points: open-mindedness, lack of culture, empathy, social initiative, and flexibility. Next slide. And then arguments in favor against of Japanese and United States management styles. So one of the key points is that in Japan, you work to satisfy society and create a flexible environment for everyone. And multiculturalism is ensured to United States as a success comparing to Europe, but when it comes to the point of being applicable, for example, to different companies, it seems that it fails. Next slide. Another point is that how employee and employers relationship affect management. This is very long, so I'm not going to read everything, but it's kind of comparing between Japan and America. So we're going to elaborate on this point as well. Next slide. And then another point is paternalistic orientation. So it means that managers concerned with personal and family life of employees and providing social support for them. So we're gonna elaborate on this point as well. And then Easter will present.
And supervising style and American versus Japanese. Supervisory style refers to the type of interaction between supervisor and their subordinate. The American management pattern is mostly characterized by supervisory style instruction, more theory X type, task-oriented, and transactional leadership method. On the other hand, Japanese are more focused on theory, place more on reliance on the attitude and responsibility of the workers. And decision-making refers to different approach to across organization and country. In decision-making, Japanese like to take a long time to make decision, and American as little time as possible. American managers emphasize concrete result rather than the process, and they make decisions in a less participative fashion than do Japanese. Individual responsibility and top-down decision-making appear to be more feature of the American system. In communication, communication pattern refers to the function of organizational communication, including providing informational input to decision, establishing task, duty, role, responsibility, and authority, achieving cooperation and guiding action toward goals, instructing, developing, and changing, and providing feedback. And one of the salient characteristics of Japanese management is that communication in Japanese organization appears to be open and more face-to-face, thereby minimizing barriers to effective information flow, and whereas American focus more on written communication. Control mechanism refers to comparison of standard with outcome. Communication theory provides a basis for understanding how organizational effectiveness is obtained.
Oh, okay, excuse me. Thank you for talking about this. I want you to continue, but as you saw at the beginning of our company back in September, I was very generous and I was just throwing money and throwing bonuses and throwing class points away. But you've already seen today, I'm starting to attack people if they start getting greedy and asking for lots of marks. And so, Easter, I love you. I appreciate that you are helping the class right now, but I need to attack you a little bit on your last slide. Can you go back one slide? You say that the Japanese appear to be open. I think you're full of baloney. I think that's crazy. I had many contracts with Japanese companies, and I ask if they understand and they accept this, and they say, yes, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, Sean-san. But then a week later, when I go back to Toronto or New York, they actually don't do the contract. So it doesn't really appear to be open to me. Can you explain? Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes. Yes.
So please explain. You say they appear to be open, but I never hear them say no. I never hear them argue.
Well, I want to, this means that appear meaning is they want to more face-to-face communication. Unlike American, yeah.
That is true. They like to be face-to-face, absolutely. And me, like an American, I don't care if I'm close to you. And with coronavirus, I don't want you guys next to me. Talk to me online, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, no problem. And we've got lots of extra help for you. But yes, all I'm looking for is written facts. I want you guys to write in Excel, write in Facebook. I can see those written facts. Absolutely, that is the American style. But I need to still attack you because you said open. And if you see appear mostly face-to-face, true, no problem. But you say appear to be open. So, Jihuan So, you are the teammate with her. She's started. I want to attack you. Can you explain that? What does it mean to be appear to be open? Ha ha ha, I caught you. Maybe this is true. Maybe you found an article that says this, but I can crucify you because this is your presentation and I don't see something in here to protect you. What are they missing? What are you missing that can protect you? Every student in class, I'm asking everybody, what are you missing here that will protect you from crazy, grumpy old men like me that want to attack you? You said it, you wrote it down, now I'm attacking you. If you change one small thing, I can't attack you. I can only argue about some other crazy person. And you look good.
Maybe put quote unquote.
Quote unquote who? If Easter quotes Jihuan So, I'm going to attack and tear apart Jihuan So. So quote unquote who? Finish that sentence. You are using Korean culture now, saying one word or two words, and you didn't fully explain your idea. You know of Hofstede, but you also know of Hall. Hall explains that some people communicate with many words and North Americans need many clear words. So, Mr. So, keep explaining many words. What do you mean, quote?
So use quote like by someone that's credible.
Yes. Ho-Jin Chun, do you know what that's called? Or Shiraz, do you know what that's called?
But do you mean citation?
Yes. In our class, I haven't used citation very often. I use a different word. What is that other word called?
Reference.
Reference. Yes. You must have two types of references. Everywhere you say something, you need to put a small in-text reference. So Easter and Jihuan So, in your final presentation, if you have a reference, Old Man Watts 2020 here, you're safe. I can only attack that guy you reference, crazy Old Man Watts. But because you don't have a reference here, I am attacking you. Understand? So protect yourself. This is like a contract. You are making a written offer of information. If you don't protect yourself, if you don't say where you got your source, you can be attacked, not the other person. So hopefully Easter or Jihuan So, do you remember where you got this information from? Let's look at your very last page of your PPT. Can you go to the very last page? As a minimum, you should have it there on your last page, just like Haben So had. Okay, oh yeah, no, one back. So here, good. You could say this is where you got it, and you are a little bit protected. I would still maybe spit on you or yell at you, or I'd throw an apple at you because you forgot the in-text reference. But as long as you have references at the end like this, this is good. So in your text, say their name and the year that other crazy person wrote it. And I will only attack them, and I will still love you. With that said, Easter, please tell me to shut up. Please continue managing this group.
Can I continue?
You sure can.
My presentation?
Yes.
And control mechanism refers to comparison of standard with outcome. Communication theory provides a basis for understanding how organizational effectiveness is obtained. In comparing American and Japanese management practice, OT distinguish between explicit and implicit control. American management sets specific measurable performance targets, whereas Japanese managers rely on value embodied in a philosophy of management, governing organizational and individual behavior to accomplish objectives. This means the U.S. management favors a control mechanism based on supervising and explicit formal control pattern. And interdepartmental relation. Interdepartmental relation describe the degree of interaction among department within an organization. Interdepartmental interaction are intensive in Japanese organization. Japanese managers are attentive to interdepartmental dependency and cooperation, but it's not popular in American company. As a conclusion, American manager emphasize the managerial dimension consisting of supervisory style, decision-making, and control mechanism, whereas Japanese managers strike such managerial dimension as communication pattern, interdepartmental relation, and paternalistic orientation. Japanese managers also view their unique or more effective in comparisons to American manager because open communication and rating system in Japan's improve operation. And any comparative management analysis usually leads to the question of how to transfer effective models and technique from one environment to another. Actually, the Japanese success in Western market have stimulated Western companies to examine and adopt Japanese managerial practice. However, a debate also continue debate a transferability of the Japanese management style to the Western country. Some experts also claim that Japanese technique cannot be copied because they depend on Japanese culture, while others believe that this technique can be transferred. And this is our limitation. I think we need more information and we need deep research about our topic, and we need more time to do a research. And this is our reference.
So, Jiwan So, explain these references. Are these shitty references or are they good references? Are you wasting my time or not?
I'm not wasting your time at all. They are very good references.
Prove it.
From, I think
I heard Mr. Kalpan is your uncle. The second one, Mr. Mazzi, is just some sports player that you like. I heard you're taking these names out of crazy. Like Messi is a famous sports player. Everybody knows him, but he doesn't know anything about Japanese management. He only knows soccer. Kalpan is your uncle, aren't they?
No, they're not.
Can you explain?
They're all from Scopus.
Can you explain more? How do I know for sure? What is the thing that you did to check? How did you check?
We found them all on Scopus.
Okay, what is Scopus?
Something that you trust.
I trust money, the almighty dollar. I trust a $100 bill. Everything else is just wasting my time.
Professor?
Yes, Easter, can you explain what is Scopus?
I think these two are not from Scopus.
Oh my God, so it is true. I was joking. I thought Messi was just a joke, but you are wasting my time. Oh my God, you're both fired.
Yeah. Masida.
Can somebody help? Gunsu Kim, can you help these guys?
Yep, sure. First of all, you need to check there's a specific code, the DOI code, DIO code, in the article, and it proves that it is reliable sources that are uploaded on the Scopus journal. And you also need to check the organizations and where the person belongs to. And also it's good to look at the professions, where they work and what's his job.
Okay, so you're talking about several different things. Let me start to interrupt you guys a little bit more. I think, Easter, you're almost finished, and Jihan So, you're almost finished. So is it okay if I share some of my screen for a short
Yes.
time?
Yes.
So I want to show this is a file. It was given to everybody in the first class. It was given actually in the class outline before you signed up for the class, before we started. We went through it several times. This is called How to Write and Grants Intro Summary. So this talks about this idea that everybody, if I just zoom in, this idea that you should work with grants is here. And this is the file that we were talking about, identifying trusted things, reliable things are up here. Scopus or Web of Science, SSCI or Scopus, those are expert peer-reviewed journals. So anything you get from there, they were checked by world experts. And so it's true. Things that you hear from Facebook or blogs or newspapers, sometimes they're written without being checked by experts. And even things written in a government website or in a company website or an organization website, even in a university website, many times it's written and not checked by somebody else. It can be wrong. And usually these ones at the bottom will always say good things about somebody, not the dirty underwear or dirty secrets. So up at the top, they're definitely trusted, but this can be old. Down here, it's not always reliable, but it is current, it is new. So this is something you should understand. How you can find it, you can go through your university details, and in the university, you can also click on if it's a Scopus article or a Web of Science article. You can also go through this website, www.scopus.com, would help you through this university details. Next, this CAMU, our library, identifies things by the database. You can search through the database, things like this EBSCO host. That is for integrated search for electronic journals like Scopus articles or Web of Science articles. If you click on those, everything will be only Scopus. So good. If you're aware of those things, great. Last, there's a different website called SCI MAGOJR. So this basically is related to science, magazine, or journals information. If you go in here, you can see all of the journals that are respected. They are recognized by Scopus. You can also search through what are the most respected ones and what are the least. If you check in here, you will see the citations per document, the 2-year. What that means is there's 16 people. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. So what we see here is in the 2-year cites per document, 16.8, 9.3, 6.7, 7, 6, 6, 3, 11. What those numbers mean is that this top one, Academy of Management Annals, other people have used this information when they're writing different stories. They reference this 16.8 times every month for the last 2 years on average. So every month, other people reference this 16 times. So people obviously read it, people obviously respect it 16 times every month on average. Harvard Business Review, which is very popular, but in some ways they suck because they don't give references. Harvard has a value of 1. Generally, one person might reference Harvard each month, versus this one is 16.8 times more respected than Harvard Business Review. This one here that says 9.3 is 9.3 times more respected and more referenced than Harvard. So those are the ways that you guys can check your reliability. And again, overall, make sure that you're aware of this. What else do I want to show here? Anybody else ready to present today? While every other student should be looking, what am I doing on my slide that Easter didn't do on hers? Or Sohebin didn't do on her slides? Do you see any other difference here?
You're clicking the hyperlink for the DOI information.
A link for DOI. So I have links here. Yeah, there are links here. And inside here, you can click on it for the link. Yes, what else is different?
Your contact information.
Yes. Don't forget, you guys, especially crazy young kids that are terrible, you guys are living on the internet. You're living on your phone. You're living on TikTok and crazy videos and YouTube videos all the time. Well, if you are living there, why are you not preparing to work there? Because other companies work there also. They hire people there. So make sure if somebody sees a very good file like this, they know how to contact you. Your email address or your LinkedIn address is here. You might not want to put your house address because you might attract crazy paparazzi to start stalking you. But show some contact information so it will be easier for you to get a job in the future. Again, in Asia, most people are supposed to be modest. Most people are supposed to be humble. But increasingly, every day, every month, even Asian countries, Asian companies are becoming more individualistic. They're writing more facts down. They're relying more on individual details. They're slowly starting to hire workers because the individual workers have good skills. So put in your contacts so they can see how to offer you a job. Just for your reference, I was offered 3 jobs in the last week because of videos, YouTube videos that I made back in 2012. So I'm not just making this stuff up. That's the way the world is starting to work. Anybody else want to try to get some points from me?
Yes, Professor, and our group also prepared a presentation to share our ideas for the term projects.
Great, and you're the one that asked for 10 points or somebody. Bring it on, guy. I'm gonna tear you apart. Let's see, what are you going to share?
By the way, since the time is really running out, we are going to try to manage it as fast as we can. So would you please send me as a co-host to share the screen?
I already did. You are co-host.
Okay, so let me try to share the screen.
Anybody else want to try to get points or present today? Since Juksong is yanking my chain and he's not showing anything yet, I'm going to keep teaching.
Professor, I'm trying to share the screen.
Blah, blah, blah. Show me the results. I'm American.
It says that the host has disabled the share screen feature.
Maybe I'm going to blame Ali. Let's say it's because of her. She thinks that your quality is not good. Let's try it again.
Okay, now I can share the screen.
That was because of me. Go ahead.
Right.
Notice the American style. I'm getting all of the credit, just like Donald Trump.
See the screen?
Yes, I can. Analysis of Huawei.
All right.
And good. You actually have your email addresses here. Great.
And
you do realize I'm getting very old, huh? I don't have much time left before I'm going to be dead. Hurry up. Start talking. Time is money.
Yes, so Jong-Woo is our first presenter, so okay.
May I start?
Yes, we're waiting for you.
Hello everyone. So today we're gonna discuss about the Huawei analysis of Huawei's recent accused among security and recommended strategies for business. And Hamin Park, Jae Song, and me, Jong-Woo is our group member. Next slide, please. And this is our table of contents. Before start, we want to give some brief information about the company. The CEO is Ren Zhengpei, and the company was established in 1987, and it was a small company, but now it provides a service more than 170 countries. The firm sells electronic devices such as smartphone, laptop, TV, and provides information and communication technology infrastructure, and the revenue is 122.972 billion US dollar in 2019. And the main competitor of Huawei in the worldwide, the first one is Apple, which company possesses the high design and high security services, and the Samsung, who shows the dominant technology in the world. Next slide, please. However, as you can see in this graph and chart, the Huawei's shipments and unit sales rate surpassed the Apple and the second largest in the world. So I will explain what strategy do they use for being the second largest. Next slide, please. The main strategy which Huawei use is low cost strategy. The price of the product is not low dramatically, but 10 to 20% lower than the competitors. But as everyone knows, the electronic devices price is normally too high, so the percentage is not a small. Important thing is that they provide similar quality with competitors, and the company do their best to avoid made in China's products quality is not good. And the second thing the company that use is pipe strategy. It means that focus on the flow of data, the transmission, storage, distribution, and display. By doing so, all the Huawei store in the world can get the information, important information or data quickly and accurately. Those stores can be connected and cooperate better than other companies, and the CEO mentioned that rather than any other strategies, pipe strategy gives huge impact for success. And the third one, what they use is petroleum. Since the China shows the highest petroleum, so it gives huge impact for Huawei's growth. By using it, the company led publics to use their products. Next slide, please. And Hamin Park will continue the presentation.
Next slide, please. The Huawei is the world's second largest smartphone supplier after Samsung, like as Jung mentioned before. In spite of the high awareness, Huawei have difficulty in security issue that is also considered as the global issue. Next. And next slide, please. So Donald Trump extended Huawei ban through May 2021. The Trump administration has amplified its campaign to harm Chinese technology company, widening its focus from Huawei and 5G to the Chinese social media apps like TikTok and WeChat. Besides, he claimed that Huawei posed a threat to national security by planting backdoor inside the IT equipment. Next. To monitor Huawei, the UK set up the Huawei Cyber Security Evaluation Center, which is called HCSEEC, whose annual reports identify concerning issue in Huawei's approach to software development. Oliver James Dowden, who served as the Secretary of State for Digital and Media, is told that all the Chinese firms' 5G kit must removed from their network by 2027. And also he said this is not been an easy decision, but it is the right one for the UK telecom network, for our national security and our economy, both now and indeed in the long run. Next. As of December 12, 2019, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Taiwan, and the US have decided to ban and praise out the company's product within their mobile network. Meanwhile, several European countries, including Denmark, Sweden, and the regime, are still on the fence about possible bans. Italian, Argentina, Brazilian, and Russian governments have all come forward saying that they will not attempt to limit the Huawei's law. Despite initial worry, South Korea, the Philippines, Thailand, and other Southeast Asian countries have already implemented Huawei's technology for 5G network. If it limited capacity, also making the probability of an upcoming ban quite low. And Jill will discuss about our strategy suggestion.
Okay, so from this part, I'm going to introduce our group's current strategy suggestion for the Huawei. But before moving on to the details, I'd like to just briefly summarize what discussed previously. So Huawei was making success in the domestic market by using the patriotism strategy, and it also made initial success in the global market as well by producing low-price products. But issues related to the security were argued that Huawei products had security issues, and as mentioned before, some of the argument was discovered as truth. Huawei had some backdoors and security issues. So the company is now facing the difficulty for the entrance to the global market, and it needs some improvement to for the improved recognition from consumers and sustain their global business. So the first thing which Huawei can suggest is their certificates. So this certificate showed in the slide was achieved by Huawei from CCN, the National Cryptologic Center located in Spain. According to the research, Huawei argued this certificate proves that their device has the top level security in network, and the equipment achieved this certificate is one of the major parts for assembling 5G network-based stations. So as mentioned before, there were some concerns with Huawei devices. Their devices are actually utilized more than 30 countries worldwide, including Korea, because LG Uplus also used their products for installing the 5G network. And moreover, according to the interview with Junho Lee, CSO of Huawei Korea, the company has achieved 270 certificates among security, including 50 CC certificates. Therefore, we can notice that Huawei is making some effort to deal with the issues and concerns among security. But the problem is that the consumers are not really recognizing this fact. So no matter how good their products are, consumers will not purchase it because they don't know whether the products are great or not. So it would be an assignment for the company, like how should we promote their products? So for this, Huawei needs to consider the consumers first. US is definitely a big market with many consumers, so it would be great if they can enter the US market. But the problem is that there are trade wars going on. Current two leaders of each country like Trump and Xi Jinping are making a lot of contractions and frictions among the trade war, and it's still triggering large impact of both fields. Therefore, it would be quite difficult if Huawei tried to enter US market due to political reasons. Even if they solve the security problems, they will also face a lot of political issues like tax or limitations of exports and imports. Therefore, Huawei needs to consider other markets as well. This chart illustrates the penetration rate of some Asian countries, and we can see some countries with smaller number of smartphone users, including Philippines, one of the countries that banned Huawei before. So if Huawei can demonstrate that their products are secured now, it would be possible to enter those Asian countries. So to enter the new market, localization strategies will be recommended, I think, because it should be one of the most effective way to be embraced by local consumers. So the photo on the left side, I put it as an example to introduce you the case of LG TV in India. So in India, one of the culture is they really love cricket. So LG Okay, anyway, so when LG tried to enter the India market, they provided a feature that broadcasting all the cricket games that held in India with various subtitles, because India has more than 20 official languages that are used in currently. So LG provided all the subtitles of official languages with the broadcast system, and that made success for the LG in the India market. So I thought this might be utilized by Huawei as well, and if they can relate their products with the local culture. And additionally, this chart shows the internet penetration rate, and both Philippines and Thailand show lower rate, which means Huawei might have new chance because they are selling a lot of products related to the network and communication systems. So they may sell not only mobile phones or smartphones, but also networking systems, because it would be another chance to promote their secured, high-quality 5G network. And so far, I just, it was a bit fast, but I tried to briefly introduce our idea, and I'd like to get some feedback if it's possible, because we have some difficulties and concerns with the common project strategies. So can I hear some opinion?
Sure. Can I start by requesting to see your references at the bottom?
Oh shoot. I apologize.
All right, dead meat.
But we'll try to organize the list of our references and upload it to the Facebook group as soon as possible, or the Google Drive.
Yes. Okay. So we are basically out of time. So I will continue to advise you guys on some strategies and stuff. I just want to make sure everybody is clear. Before the class runs away, I shared a link in the Zoom chat. Everybody, please make sure you click on that link. One of the things is I am making sure you know how I'm working, how the class is operating, how we are managing details, how we're giving points, what is expected, and everybody should know. If anybody doesn't know, I have made this file to clarify it again. And please ask me or the team of teachers at any time. What I also want to talk about is grants. Every one of you have not really talked about grants yet, and you are hurting yourself. The idea of grants, I've explained, could be used from the first day of class, and you could have money to do the class activities. So make sure you understand. The class was designed
Professor, could you please just confirm the network, because your voice is going off time to time?
We can't hear you.
Professor, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Professor.
What's going on?
Hey.
Aggressive, you must start showing your results and requiring your company or this classroom to give you marks for doing that. It's not normal in Korea. It's confusing in Korea. It will drive Korean people crazy. So at the beginning of the semester, people are confused. But by now, I hope it's pretty clear why you think it's confusing. And you're starting to realize, oh, it's not confusing. And Professor Watts keeps talking about the same thing to help us adopt this participative US management style. Next, we are moving into the Korean and Japanese management focus part of the class. And so I just want to show you a few things now. I'm sharing the screen. Hopefully you can see. This is, first of all, the file that I've shared with everybody, Professor Watts course completion clarification. In the beginning of class, we did it this way. In the midterm of class, we did it this way. Week 1, what we cover. Week 2, what we cover. Week 3, what we cover. So all of that is explained to you guys. And the idea of the class links. So every one of you should be aware, oops, here, that class 1, East Asian Management, class 1, the video is online in YouTube. It's here. Class 2, the video content is shared online. It's here. Class 3, class 4, class 5, class 6. So the Chinese management is here. Next week we have break. You're not going to see my crazy face. You're supposed to do something though. What are you guys supposed to do? What does the class requirements say is required for next week? Any students? Hamin Park, Hebin So, Bunsu Kim, what are you supposed to be doing for my class next week?
So we're supposed to do a survey.
The term project.
Don't look at my ugly butt, but try to develop your guangxi with the company. If you have connections with the company, it's much, much easier to get a job with them. Don't wait until you graduate. But don't knock on the door and sound like an inexperienced young student. And do not tell them you are a young, inexperienced student. People in Korea don't usually respect that. Make sure you introduce yourself as a researcher. You're working with the Keimyung University Research Group. Professor Watts is like a world famous expert helping you do this research and share something valuable. What is every one of you supposed to have that is reliable and trusted and valuable? Because we're out of time, I'm just going to tell you, Scopus references. You should have one every week. So by now, you should have about 7 different reliable, top world-class, respected facts from journal articles, Scopus journal articles. If that's relating to your company, share that information with the company. When you start talking with the company, start with somebody that you can make a mistake with. Maybe the parking lot attendant. After you screw up talking with him, then you can talk to a junior person or an intern in the company or a secretary or a junior worker. After you learn and practice how the company is focused, what they think is valuable, learn what words they are using, use what their words are, use what they're interested in, and then finally talk to a manager or director and start sharing these Scopus valuable details, saying that we're interviewing you and we might be able to help provide some advice or creative solutions for you. Ask how we can further help and refine our expertise for them. Don't tell them that you're just a young student. So that's what's required next week. Any questions about that? You can. you can review all of our class videos in advance. It's online, it's in CTL, it's in the Google folder. You should be talking as much as possible in class to check your understanding, to make sure you're prepared to be an expert, to make sure you're prepared to do international management. So class is over now, but as always, I arrive an hour early. I'll stick around an hour afterwards. I don't advise you to stay and waste your time, but does anybody have questions?
Professor, after the class, can I just get a little bit of feedback for our term project?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Any other students have questions or comments? This time is designed to give you points. We're kind of still in class. Any questions you have, I might be able to give you points. Many of you I've not heard from today. If I don't hear from you, you get 0 points. But I want to give you points. The class is designed to be generous. Hojin Chun, I haven't heard much from you today. No questions, comments?
Professor,
Yes?
I have a question.
Great.
I just want to know about what is the time paper, the difference between time paper and research paper?
Nothing. You have to do a research paper, and you have to do a research paper in our university term, semester. So it's the same thing. We are doing a consulting project / research project / term paper. It's all the exact same thing.
So
It's a
yeah.
consulting project because you should design it not just for Keimyung University. You should design it not just to impress me. You should design it to impress some company you're going to contact and survey over the break. So that's why I call it a consulting paper. Is that clear, Easter?
So do we have to collect the data and make a survey?
No, you do not have to, but I advise you to make your paper as good as you can. You do not have to do big surveys and collect a lot of data, but you must interview or collect quotations from at least 10 reliable Scopus Journal articles. And you don't have to, but I highly encourage you to survey the company. Contact the company that you want to get a job with and interview them. Maybe take a photo of them. Tell them whatever kind of bull crap you want to make them feel happy so that they will have a good relationship with you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Don't usually walk up to the company and say, "Hi, how do you spell the company name?" Walk up to them and say, "You are a researcher, you're working with Professor Watts and several other professors. You know Bonnie Nam is a professor from North America, Alonzo also from North America and Mexico, Linda Lee from China. You know that Julian is from Europe, Ali is from Vietnam, Professor Graf is from Denmark." All of those are experts that might be able to help that company with a project. Use that Guangxi in the art of war. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Use it to try to get a relationship with the company that you want to work with in the future.
Yes. Thank you, Professor.
Any other questions? Ether, you just talked. Were you trying to just volunteer? Were you talking just because you love the sound of your own voice? Were you talking only because I have a super sexy voice? Or were you doing it for management purposes? Are you trying to get points? Because if you look carefully, I didn't write down any points for you yet. Is it okay for me to keep cheating you? Or do you want me to start being generous and give you some points? Chuksong, same. You want me to keep kicking you guys? If you look carefully, Easter, lots of comments, but I don't see any points here. Chuksong, haha, no points. You must suck. You talk for a long time, no points. Who else was? Park Hamin. I have 0 from you here. Is that true? Should I be leaving this? Or are you guys going to participate and manage yourselves now? Kim Gun-soo, almost every day you get almost 5 points. But today, it looks like you suck. Come on, Mr. Kim, Gun-soo. You usually are very participative, but I don't have anything. What do you want to say?
I think Kunzu Kim is not around here, but anyway, for now, we provided the presentation. We presented our idea, and normally we got 1 point for the participation. So
blah 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 blah. What is this picture I'm showing? You're talking around in circles. You're going all over the place. Go around the block.
I get a point by presentation.
Get to the point. What do you want?
Professor, may I get a point for making the presentation for today's topic?
Sure.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is what happens. But anyway,
next question.
I really would appreciate it if you can increase the amount of point by 1, not just 0.001.
Here we go. So it's 0.002. We increased it by 1.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you want me to be generous. There you go. Is that what you want?
Oh, yes.
You are Japanese. You're not arguing with me. You have to learn to be more American. Start fighting for your rights.
But Professor, but for now, I just want you to discuss with my question related to our term project.
Okay. Can you email it to me? I haven't been able to check in detail. One thing I definitely saw is you didn't have references properly, which means most of that information, if there's no references, I can't rely on it.
All right.
So please add references. It doesn't have to be perfect formatting, but I'd like to see if something is Scopus or not, and then I will give you some comments, okay?
All right, okay.
Ask for higher points. Give me a number, be specific.
Be specific?
How many can you get today?
Excuse me, sir?
How many points are your normal for you to get today? Anybody in class? Everybody?
Personally, 1, I think.
No, that is every other week, regular weeks.
Regular, but on the special week?
You're presenting something special. Yes, right?
Then like 3 or 5.
Okay. It's not 3, it's 5 points for presenting your research update, 1 point for extra contribution if you share some special journal article. Yes. Did you show not only your research presentation, but did you show any more than that? Any specific journal articles you share with other students?
Today I didn't share any journal articles.
So how many should you get as a minimum?
Then I think 3 would be good because we presented.
Oh my God! Stop being so humble. You should be saying you're trying to get the most. You could get 5, but I'm going to give you 4 because you didn't talk about your grant yet. I'm giving you more than you ask for. Next time, try to ask for the maximum or more. Be bold.
Yes. The next time, but then next class I will ask for 6 with the full grant information.
Yes.
Right.
And who are your teammates with you that should also get this?
Okay.
Who's in your team?
Hamin Park and Jung Woo So.
Okay. Where is Jung Woo So? Oh, I see Ji Hwan So. Is that this guy?
No, it's Jung Woo So. So Jung Woo is. So yeah, there he is under the Alyanov's Chokhabos.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So I've just given you guys points even though they didn't ask for it. Next time, make sure you realize I'm starting the course very generous towards week 10, 11, 12. I'm not going to be as generous. So get as many points as you can early in the course.
All right. Thank you, Professor. Then see you next class.
Yes, see you. Anybody else ready to try to get points? I think everybody else is gone. Yep, that's it. I will stop recording now.